Hello ladies with gentle hands, I'm Chicano 10.
I'm Sebastian, hello.
And today we're going to be talking about the Chicano movement. The Chicano movement, also known as El Movimiento, was a movement across the nation about the mistreatment that Mexican Americans faced from wages, representation, etc. However, we'll be talking about the Chicano movement based in El Paso.
El Paso was home to many Mexican Americans, but due to their discrimination and their unfair wages and their stolen land, many have started expressing their pride and strength through the streets of El Paso. We El Paso people chose to express our Chicano heritage in our cars. With lowriders, you could form the car to look like anything you want. Most people made their lowriders to honor something, whether it be a dead relative, their culture, or their religion. Chicanos would often use their mechanical skills to transfer an old raggy car into a beautiful piece of art. Often, it would express their art with religious icons, Aztec art, or family themes. Chicanos would often cruise down neighborhoods such as downtown or Alameda as a way of peaceful protesting. By doing this, cops would begin to harass lowrider clubs.
Mexicans expressed their Chicano power through many ways, but the most impactful was through the protests. These protests demonstrated their strength in numbers and their sense of unity. At the same time, a jean company called the Velo Manufacturing Company was the second largest employer in El Paso, Texas. It was so huge that the El Paso was known as their jeans capital of the world. However, 4,000 Velo garment workers from El Paso, Las Cruces, and San Antonio walked off their jobs in protest against their low wages, unrealistic quotas, and awful benefits. This course of action gave the Mexican Americans a voice and the experience to continue fighting for justice for workers. And they weren't just workers. 85% of fair workforce were actually women, which had a huge impact on the industrial textile industry in the border cities like El Paso. In fact, look at this picture that came from the fair protest. You can see the Hotel Paseo de Noche in the background. Your Abuelita Ortio is probably in the photo too. You can also see the sense of pride from this little girl who is carrying the Mexican flag. The real question we're asking is, how did it affect El Paso? Well, as you can see, El Paso is home to many Mexican Americans who aren't afraid to have their voice heard. Recently, we've had our very own protest in El Paso not too long ago against President Trump's new policies on our border.
Look what this idiot's doing. Like, who's he think he's talking to, huh? What dumbass.
Many with the phrase El Choco Habla. The protest was in the spirit of Cesar Chavez, a civil rights activist in the 1900s who fought for justice for Mexican American farm workers.
The car culture that was expressed back then is still somewhat relevant today. There's still people that cruise around, there's still people that race, there's still people that ride low. Here's some pictures of some lowriders that my uncle made. Here's my uncle's 65 Impala. And this is a picture of the engine block. This interior is absolutely beautiful. We have the subwoofers and the hydraulic system right here. And here's a Chevy 350 that goes into a 52 style line. This is the car that the engine belongs to. And right here, here's a picture of the engine fully built. Here's some up close art from that car. And here's the car when it's fully built. Here is another real-world example of a lowrider. El Paso's current car culture is very diverse. For example, we have JDM, we have supercars, and we have American muscle cars. Proving El Paso's a melting pot. It's a variety of everything.
That was it from us two. I'm Chicano 10 and thank you so much for watching. What was that? What are you doing? Oh!